YouTube, what it do, which boy out here. Did not get a chance to record this morning after the stocks. I'm on vacation, went out and had a blast at the beach. But I figured I'd show you guys pretty much what happened this morning. I did lose this morning. I lost 500 bucks. As I've told you guys so many times in these videos, man, you're gonna lose. You know, and like I think the biggest problem today was not waiting for proper confluence before I went into my trade. I'm gonna be honest, like I said, like I try to be as brutally upfront with you guys as I possibly can be. But I also take it as a learning curve for me, because like I literally sit here and tell you guys all the time to wait for that second candle. And I took the daily bias and I took the 4-hour bias, and I immediately thought it's gonna drop. The market had a different plan today, so we're gonna show you pretty much what happened. So we go on our 15-minute candle. If you are new here, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe, you know, for this stock guru over here, you know, $700 course down in the description. You know, if you guys want, you know, to join that course. I'm just messing with you guys. But so we have the 15-minute candle right here, which it starts at 9:30. As I tell you guys, if you're new here, I trade New York session, which is 9:30. I'm typically done by 10:30, 11. The market doesn't always move the way we want it to, though. That's the whole thing. Like the market doesn't always move that way, and that's just how it's got to be. You know, that's how it's gonna be for the rest of your trading journey. But basically, what I can say is, here's a 15-minute candle, and we set the lower low, and we set the higher high. Then we switch to the 5-minute. Now, if we are new here, I trade the 15-minute orb strategy. It's the best one. It's worked tremendously for me, again, with proper confluence, because the market's going to do what it wants to do, okay? So we're going to go to 9:30 a.m., which is, sorry to correct my days here. Let's see. So we have 9:30. Okay. So here's the high and the low that we had described. This morning, what did it do, right? It stopped a lot of people out. I can guarantee you it did. So it comes down and it closes right here, right? So immediately I'm sitting here, I see the negative, you know, I think it was like a negative 80, negative 100 or something this morning at 9:30. I don't recall exactly, but it was a negative. It had a 4-hour bearish, daily bearish. So I'm sitting over here being like, it's going to do exactly what it's been doing and just slam down instead of waiting for that proper confluence, right? So I had joined the moment it closed. And I always tell you guys to wait for that second 5-minute candle to see what's gonna happen. If you look here, look how fast I got stomped out, man. It did exactly what I didn't want it to do. It came up and, you know, it came and tested the higher high, which that's what I'm saying. You have to wait for that second candle, or you're gonna risk doing the same thing I just did and get stomped out. You know, because if we had waited and if I had just said, oh, you know, I'm gonna give it 3 extra minutes or 4 extra minutes and just jumped in on the, you know, on the down, if it was gonna continue down, I still would have made money, you know, in most cases. Where I would have seen on this 5-minute here that it just kept going and going and going and going. And as we can see, it came all the way up to 348. So on a good buy, if you had, you know, waited, you saw they had closed above this lower low, that's always a good confirmation that's going to keep going for a little bit, but it doesn't mean it's going to be going forever. Because again, we had the daily being bearish. We had the 4-hour being bearish, meaning it's bearish. You know, for majority of cases, this came up and it went all, let's see what time it was. At 10:25, and it started dropping from 10:25. And as you guys can see, it made a lower low down here, you know, and like that's why I always tell you guys the strategy works pretty consistently. You know, it's all about confluence, it's all about waiting, you know, and having confirmation before you make your trades and not being a dummy. You know what I mean? That's what I did this morning. I went in to go in. The fear of missing out. You know what I mean? Like that's something I try to be brutally upfront and say that, you know, when you start trading, you know, you're gonna realize that the fear of missing out is a real thing. You know, you're gonna have to shut that down. You know, your psychology is just so important when you're trading, man. Because if your psychology is telling you to jump in and your confluences are telling you not to jump in, you're gonna lose. You're gonna get stopped out every time. Like I just did right here. Because of what I should have done is just seen, okay, well, you know, it closed out, but there's an immediate green candle all the way up. So I should have known, okay, it's going to test this new high. Actually closed above that high and went even further. But again, like, to go on and buy even right here, I mean, you can for a little bit and just do your trailing, take profit all the way up. But we also knew that had that closure already under a lower low, and it also was in bearish structure. You know, there's a bearish day, bearish 4-hour, like that's a bearish day. You know, so I would have jumped in up here, and when I saw a reversal, you know, if I was watching, because I knew I would know what's happening majority of cases. You know, seeming that it was bearish, you know, for the 4-hour and the daily again. But as you guys can see, most people probably jumped in for a bearish trade right here, you know, and then the market wanted to stomp everybody else. So it just blew up as fast. It didn't even give you a warning, man, this morning. Like it was just, and it went green. So it is what it is. Today was a losing day. I hope tomorrow is a good day. I'm gonna wait for that second candle, like I always tell you guys. You know, the 9:30 candle. Sorry, the 9, which would be. It was the, yeah, like 10-ish candle around there, because it didn't close until like 9:55. So if I had just waited an extra 3 or 4 minutes, I would have seen that they were stomping people out, you know, but I was too busy trying to catch it instead of really being, you know, smart about it and trusting the fact that, you know, hey, if I lose the trade, I lose the trade. You know, and that's what I'm gonna have to learn by. You know, like that's my documents. I write it down every single day, whether I lose or win, and how it, you know, why I'm losing. I'm losing because I didn't wait. That's why I lost today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on this content. I upload every single day. At least I try to. Let's pray for a better day tomorrow. If any of you guys lost, pray for a better day tomorrow and just keep showing up. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video.